Hi guys, I'm Joe. Welcome back to my shop. I just saw that Chris B did a review on his ultrasonic cleaner, and I have one here that I've had this review in the can for I don't know, a few weeks now, and I really wasn't going to post it, but there was some things about this that were maybe interesting to you guys. I did some modifications to it. This one came off of Amazon, and I originally bought it. It cost $169, but eventually, after having some back and forth with the seller, they ended up giving it to me for free. They didn't pay me to do this review. This was just because I had pointed out a lot of the shortcomings in the specifications. So this review was just something I did a couple weeks ago. Primarily what I use this thing for is cleaning carburetors. A lot of people, they bring their equipment here and they haven't taken care of it. They leave the gas in it for years and it cruds up the carburetors. So we take them apart and throw them in this thing, and it seems to do a pretty good job. Now, originally in this review that I did, I was using simple green and water, and it did okay, as a general purpose cleaner. But I found this other stuff here, which works really well. It's called Branson MC3, and it's a cleaning concentrate. It's kind of expensive, but it goes a long way. And this is primarily formulated for aluminum and non-ferrous metals like that. It is corrosive. I don't know what it has in it, but in the directions they tell you not to leave the parts sitting in there once the cleaning cycle's done. Now, I haven't found any problems with with dissolving aluminum or anything like that, but there's something in here that is kind of aggressive. And this bottle here, I believe it cost me about $15, and it's a quart. And you're supposed to mix this with water, like a 10% solution. So this goes a long way. But anyways, here's my cleaner. It's a 6-liter unit, and right now it does have that Branson stuff in it. But you'll see in the video that there were some issues with this thing, and basically I had to prove to the seller that their specs were baloney, and I guess rather than having me send it back, they just ate it and said keep the thing, and they refunded my money. So anyways, I hope you enjoy this video. It's a little long because after I discover that there's some things that are wrong with this, I go through a little segment where I modify it, and you'll see that. So hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching. Alright, Mr. Brown has brought us an ultrasonic cleaner direct from China. We will now see what is inside of it. It's upside down. Alright. Not a bad little unit. Supposedly all stainless. So got some heat in it, and got some stuff, timers and stuff. So we also have a little parts basket. Power cord, So we'll get this all set up, see how it works. Miniature series. Yeah, I was gonna get like a 15-liter one, but I don't really think you need it for cleaning the kind of stuff we do. Okay, so what I did is I filled this thing up with 50% simple green and 50% water, and let's turn it on. Ooh, 5029. Oh, I see. It's set at 50C. It's actually 29, and it's set for 5 minutes. So let's put it to 15. Turn the heat on, and what I did is got this old grody carburetor. And let's see what the inside of that looks like. Okay, so I'm gonna put that in this thing. I got the old manifold to the 10 horse over there. I'll put that in here, and I got some other car pieces. See if they all fit. I don't think the float's going to go in there. And yeah, these needles and stuff, they'll fall through. So I'm going to take this and we're going to put this in here. And I think we need just a little more to cover it. There we go. And now we're going to see what all the hype is about. So when this thing gets up to 50, I'm going to hit the button here. Okay, I found some more crap to throw in this thing. Got a couple plugs out of the riding mower we did the tune up on a while ago, and then this is got to be the most foul plug I've ever seen in my life. Believe it or not, this engine actually ran with this plug in it. So we're going to throw this in there too and see how it cleans it up, just for the yucks. See what happens. Yeah, it's kind of funny how they word this stuff. Admonition. And over here, fruits and vegetables. I don't know why anybody put fruits and vegetables in this thing. Maybe to cook them. But anyways, it is taking a long time to get up there. This thing started off at 29. It's up to 34. And it's probably been 20 minutes. So supposedly this thing has like a 250 watt heater in it, but I don't know about that. I should put my kilowatt on here and see what it's actually drawing. Well, it's been quite a while here, and I'm kind of getting sick of waiting, so I'm just going to turn this thing on now and see if it makes the zizz noise. There we go. Oh man!
Yeah, that is not a pleasant sound. I don't know if it's what it's doing to the camera, but my God, man, that thing is nasty. I don't think you want to be around this when it's doing this. I may actually like put it in one of these cabinets because that's nasty. All right, we'll be back to you in 14 minutes and 26 seconds to see what happens here with this thing. Oh man, I'm telling you, I think dogs around this thing would be bumming. There's definitely some bubble action going on there. Don't see too much over here though. Let's see what happens. It's got 12 and a half minutes to go. It's up to 38C. Which, yeah, it's still not very warm. Alright, so this has been going for 15 minutes. We got it up to 44. So, let's see what things look like. Yeah, I'll shut that off. Oh yeah, we got some fuzz going on in here. So, I gotta put the camera down to get this basket out of there, but we'll have a look at it. Hang on. Alright. Let's see what this looks like. Oh. Oh yeah, baby. This stuff looks clean. I mean, it's not perfect, but it definitely is a lot better looking than it was when it went in there. I think maybe this might have a little bit of directionality to it. But let's get this over on the bench and have a look at it. I think it took the paint right off these cars. Right. So let's see. That spark plug. Yeah, nah. Did a little bit on them, but I don't know. I think they need more time in there. This one got kind of cleaned up. This here. Yeah, most of the crud is out of it. There's a little bit still in the float bowl. Top is much cleaner than it was when it went in. And, yep, this is definitely cleaner too, but there's some directionality to this. I guess this stuff has to be pointing towards the bottom to get totally clean. So as long as that thing's warmed up and we've learned some things, I'm going to turn this over. And we're going to point this one down at the bottom too. And we might as well throw these plugs back in there and see what happens. Put this baby in for another 15. Alright, we had it in there for another 15 minutes. And it finally did hit 50C. And I would say that that is a pretty clean piece. Do some other pieces in there too. This manifold. Yeah, it's definitely directional. The part that cleans the best is facing downward, where the transducers are. But it's pretty clean. This looks like red paint that came off the carburetor. It kind of migrated onto that, or actually it probably came off of this, because yeah, the paint's coming off of this. So it'll definitely take paint off too. Spark plugs are getting marginally cleaner. This one that was totally blottoed is still got a little on it, but the other ones, well, that one doesn't look like it got cleaned at all. But yeah, it's pretty good. Well, nuts and bolts got clean. Alright, so I'm declaring this a winner. The only drawbacks are it takes seemingly forever for it to get up to temperature. I mean, it's up to 50 now. It heats up faster when it's running, when the ultrasonic stuff is running. I guess that's because of agitation or something. But what I'm going to do now is put my kilowatt meter on it and see if it's actually doing what it says it does as far as specs go. But yeah, 50-50 mix of simple green. That's a 6 liter. And yeah, I mean, if you filled it right up to the brim, it would be 6 liters. But you know, you got to have some space for the parts and stuff. So, you know, if you're gonna buy one of these things, 6 liters really means like about 5 or 4. Yeah, let me throw the kilowatt meter on that thing and see what it does. Okay, I drained this thing out, and you can see that, yeah, there was some crud that came off of that in the bottom of this. But this 6 liters stuff is baloney, because that's 3.78 liters, and it's not even full. So I'm guessing that's about 3.5 liters. If I pour this in here, you'll see how close it comes to the top. I don't know, man, but I don't think you can get another 2 liters in there, even if you filled it right up to the brim. Turn this thing on. I'll show you what the kilowatt meter says. Okay, so there it is, just, you know, not doing anything, but with the displays lit. 1.8 watts. And if I turn on the heater, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, say 90 watts, even though it's not going to stay there. Okay, even if I crank it up, $81 watts, stabilized at 81 watts. Okay, and now turn the heater off. Down to 1.8 again. Turn the sound on. $135. Okay, so here's a little interesting tidbit. You can see that the back of this ultrasonic cleaner says PS30A on it. And if you look at these specifications, PS30A is supposed to be a 200 watt heater right there. So when I measured the 87 watts for the heater and the 133 for the ultrasonic power, which is supposed to be 180. I complained about this to the seller, and he basically said, yep, you're right, I'm going to give you all your money back. So this was essentially a freebie for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it do what I want it to do. And I'm going to take this thing apart, and I've got my old machine heater, which I don't need anymore. And these are 100 watt stick-on heaters, silicone heaters. So I'm going to stick a couple of these in there and bump it up a little. But let me take this thing apart and I'll show you something really funny inside here. Okay, well, if you've ever wanted to know what was inside of an ultrasonic heater, or cleaner, this is it. There's two driver boards in here. This one drives two of the transducers, and this one drives the third one. And there are the transducers. Now the funny thing is there's the heater. I peeled some of the tape off of there, but you can see that it says 100 watts on it. So much for the specifications, huh? It's a blatant, outright lie. So, basically what I'm going to do here now is take this tank out and attach two more of these heaters to it. I know I can do that because they control it with a relay, and the relays are 10 amps. So 3 amps is not going to kill it. And we will make this baby heat up like it's supposed to. Okay, so I've got one of these silicone pad heaters. This is a 100-watt heater. It's a little big for what I need, but what I'm going to do, or what I've done already, is clean both sides of this with some brake clean right there. And I'm going to coat one side of this with white thermal paste. And the other side, I'm going to put some aluminum tape over. And I'm going to try to adhere it right here to the back of this tank. Now, unfortunately, in their infinite wisdom, they have glued this tank into the case here, so I can't get it out. And the heater pad I have is a little too big to fit right there. So what I'm going to do is, when I get this thing all gooped up, I'm going to slide it down in here and stick it to the back of the tank right there. And hopefully that will get me from this measly 100-watt heater, which takes forever to friggin' heat up this water, to a 200 watts. I'd like to get 300, but we'll see how 200 works. And this is the thermocouple that they're using to measure when to turn this heater on and off. So the wiring, I'm just going to put them both in parallel. Now there is a fuse right there that controls the heater, and it's a 5 amp fuse. So 125 volts, 100 watts, it's less than an amp for each of these heaters. It ought to be fine. If not, I'll change that fuse to a bigger one. So I'm going to put this on the tripod, and unfortunately you're not going to really be able to see a whole lot here because I'm going to be working down in this little thing here, but we'll get you as much as we can. Okay, so I took the heater and stuck it to some aluminum tape here, and I put some silicone-based heatsink compound on it. So now what I'm going to try to do is get it in the bottom of that thing, and I won't be able to show you that. So that's basically what I did. And unfortunately, these things originally came with some really nice PSA on the back, but when I peeled them off the lathe, came off. So these are just naked right now. Hopefully this tape, being around the perimeter, will hold it up against the metal, and this silicone compound, this is this stuff, Super Lube, silicone-based heatsink compound, will get it thermally connected to the tank. So where it's going to go is right in that slot there. Okay, so what I did is I put this on here. It seems like it adhered pretty good, and it's covering the entire heater with this silver furnace tape. And then what I did is I shoved a piece of closed cell foam in here, and this is providing pressure against the heater to hold it up against the tank, you know, just for a little extra insurance. So I got a couple wires here. These things I'm going to wire up to the heater and you know, in parallel with it, and both of these should come on at once, and then we'll be jamming. So let's see what happens. I'm hoping that fuse doesn't blow, but if it does, I got a bigger one. And like I said, I mean, it's only switching line voltage through the 10 amp relay to these heaters, and they're non-inductive, so it shouldn't be a problem. Okay, so what I've done here now is make up a couple little Y adapters. These two wires come from the heater I just put in. These two wires come from the heater that was already in there, and they Y off and go to the terminals where they go. So now what I'm going to do is put this thing all back together and fill it up with water, or simple green and water, and then put my kilowatt meter on it and see that it's drawing 200 watts or so when it's heating up. And we'll see how good that heats up the water. Okay, so here we are. Got the kilowatt meter hooked up, and we're going to turn this baby on. No fire came out. It says it's 18 degrees Celsius, which is pretty damn cold. We're at our usual 1.9 watts, so I'm going to turn this on. Heater's cranking. Oh yeah, now 210. So we'll see how quick this thing heats up. It is 11 o'clock exactly. So we'll bring you back when this thing hits 50. Okay, we hit 50. It is 12:05. So it took an hour for this thing to go up by like 31 degrees, which is not too shabby really. And the heater shut off right when it was supposed to, and it went to 1.7 watts. So let's just look at the soup here. Oh yeah, she's steaming. Good.
There you go, guys. That's my story of my ultrasonic cleaner odyssey. Hope you enjoyed it. Video's getting a little long, so I probably won't throw any flying stuff at the end of this. But I want to mention a couple of YouTube creators. Brian Stanga, BS in the Shop. He's back on the tube after having some pretty brutal surgery and being laid up for quite a while. You know, glad to see him back. Brian, I'm glad you're getting better. And Randy Richard, man, I'm telling you, you know, he's been posting videos about all the fires and stuff out there near his house. And I guess things are getting slowly a little better, but for a while there, he was really worried about his place burning down, and he had to evacuate. So Randy, you know, I hope everything's okay out there with you, and you can get back in the shop and start making some of those great videos again for us. Well, anyway, that's all. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good one. Thanks to all my subscribers, and we'll have some more video for you soon. Bye.